Hello. So, long story short, if you've been keeping up with my Tumblr, I recorded a video where in real, recording time, I was drawing a drawing and talking while I was drawing it, and was just rambling about whatever, was coming to mind, and the drawing itself, and just things and stuff. And I had a bit of, technical difficulties with rendering it, and I did get them solved. But by the time I'd kind of gotten them solved, I was like, you know what, I might want to re-record this a little more organized. So this is still going to be a bit of a ramble. I took the points that I kind of was getting at in my previous recording and just jotted them down, but this is still a freestyle ramble more or less, aside from key points to help me kind of stay a little grounded along the way. Anywho, the Huntlow Speedpaint is in the background. It was originally recorded in real time. I sped it up for this. I may or may not add another drawing in the background just for a visual. It's not really a speed paint so much as it's just something to look at while I am rambling to the void here. I don't know. I'm recording this first. We'll edit this later and see how long it takes and if the speed paint needs another speed video paint thingy in the background. Anywho, we're getting into it. So this is basically a pseudo update video thing. First off, if you have not been keeping up elsewhere, because I know I don't post here often and I don't necessarily check here often. I don't, I'm not really doing messages and stuff through YouTube. I just post videos here. The platforms I'm currently oh my god, words. There was a Viva La Vida song, Lofi just came on, just totally stopped my thoughts. Anywho, the platforms I'm most active on now are pretty much Tumblr, just kind of Tumblr. I still poke my head on other platforms, but I'm not, I can't really say I use them. Technically, if you wanted to, you could still kind of reach out to me on DeviantArt. I don't prefer the chat feature. I hate that thing. It's so buggy and always bots are reaching out. I'd rather you reach out through comments or notes or something if you have to, but I do have the Tumblr. It's got an ask box on there. You could use that. But yeah, basically, the point in my original video, the internet's kind of a fucking shit show. Because rich people, corporate men who don't know shit keep buying platforms and breaking them, and every algorithm's trying to eat each other. So, here we go. Anywho, Twitter. If you've been keeping up, you know that I kind of used to use Twitter. And if you're a Twitter user, you know that E-Man there kind of just broke the whole platform. It's no secret. It just keeps getting worse and worse. The algorithm, mine isn't as bad as I've heard some people's, but it's still just rough on there sometimes, the ads, the bots, and everything. And basically what I decided to do, if you haven't seen it and you're oh my god, what happened, is I privated my Twitter, not because of anything. It was just because I was tired of how broken the fucking platform was. The bots were a pain. I was getting all these bots following and stuff, and it was in DMs from bots. It was just so bizarre. So I had enough, and I was you know what, it's broken. This isn't even a good art platform. Anyway, I didn't, at the time I was well, I don't want to delete it, so I just privated it, because I was planning also on using it less. I didn't want to keep using it to post. I still glance on there because I don't use TikTok, and that's kind of the only news-ish thing I have that's easy to access immediately, because if something happens, everyone goes running there and posts about it right away, so it's good to kind of get scraps of information fast. But aside from typical news outlets or news YouTubes and stuff like that, so I still do poke my head on there, but I wouldn't say it's reliable anymore. Aside from that, you may have seen me on and off still posting on there about how I broke my Twitter. So I hate this fucking platform. Basically what's going on is I got it in my head, and I joked about this in my previous recording actually, there's this AJR song, and I can't remember it off the top of my head right now, but it was basically there's a few of them, but it's I'm gonna burn everything down, I'm gonna throw my phone in the bay. I was screw it, screw this platform, I hate it. And so I was spring cleaning energy, and I was also haha, hellfire, burn it. So what I started doing was I was fuck the AI bots, fuck Twitter, fuck Elon Musk. I was you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start deleting my art on here. I'm tweet delete, all that stuff's broken. I'm but I'm off the rails, I'll just delete it myself. I have a cup of tea, I'll get that shit done. Anywho, I'd like to remind you the platform's very broken. Nothing works. Example 1, you click a tweet and it opens a link page to God knows where because I guess the back end's broken or something in the code. Anywho, I started deleting my oldest art posts and like any like if I was going through my feed and I saw like, oh, I like tweeted something or I reblogged something, I was undoing those too. Just like manually tweet deleting my tweets. I was like, spring cleansing, let's just like get this stuff out. Let's get my art off here so the weird AI bots that still might be around can't get it. And so I was like, you know, they probably already have it, let's be honest. The fucking AI has scraped everything. But you know, it's the slight optimism for me that might help. Anywho, I started deleting it, and then it like broke. Like my media tab wasn't showing my art at the end of it, and I was like, okay, it's probably slow to load. And I kind of waited a bit, like a little bit, and I kind of tried again, some were loading. I was like, okay. And then it kind of was like weird, and it like kind of wasn't loading them at all, except for newer ones. Now, this is kind of my bad, but also the platform's broken, so that's kind of the platform's fault, is that I did the old person thing where the technology isn't working, so you try to like click it again and again, kind of like, you know, when it freezes and you're just definitely making it worse, and I should know because I tell people to stop doing that all the time. I did it. I succumbed to my own nonsense, and I was like, you know what, since the older art won't delete, let me go delete the newer art, right? And so I went to delete the newer art, and I wish I just didn't delete anything. And you've probably seen me, if you're still following me on Twitter and you didn't get like cleared out because I thought you were a bot or some like weird like whatever when I was cleaning through followers forever ago when I did private, because there was, you know, some people who were like NSFW's private. There's some people who were following me, and I was like, I don't know if I like that you only are retweeting like really weird suspicious anime art. So I'm gonna make you unfollow me. So it was one of those things where if you're still able to see, you've seen me kind of complain about how I just broke it and I regret trying to delete everything. Well, that was because it just totally broke. I couldn't see my media tab for some time. It's still kind of broken. It did come back. It did somewhat come back. It's still very broken though. I'm not gonna lie, it's still broken. I've given up. I wish I never did it though. It would have, at least I would have known it would have been broken. Now I broke it. I delete too many images, it's broken. Anywho, Twitter's just a fucking mess. With that said, yeah, I don't really use it anymore for art and posting. If someone else buys it in the day and it kind of normalizes out, maybe I'll go back to it, but for all intents and purposes, that platform's a fucking sinking ship that we're just kind of watching at this point, and it's gonna get worse because fucking Musk, I guess, supposedly, you know how if you click a like or a reblog, it's on the tweet? Apparently they want to roll out something where those buttons are gone, and instead of a one-click action, you need to do like 2 or 3 clicks to complete the action. So you would click a tweet, and then it would open like this extra like pop-up and then allow you to do the action. I don't know, I don't like it. Anywho, next platform / point, DeviantArt. Oh, DeviantArt. So if you follow me on DeviantArt or you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me probably talk about DeviantArt, you've seen me probably complain about DeviantArt, not like a whole bunch, but you know, here and there. TLDR, DeviantArt has been a mess since Eclipse. It's probably been a mess before that, but more so since Eclipse, and it has been a fucking just nightmare for the same reasons Twitter has been like a nightmare, where it's just shitty choices, shitty ownership, going down the drain. And so I was one of the people who, I have been on DeviantArt for since I was like, I want to say like 9, 10. I kind of saw it when I was 8. I was somewhere around there, and I think my current account doesn't reflect that, because I did have like, you know, I like rebranded my name and stuff when I wanted to be more professional, and so, but I've been around there for a while. I was following like people just casually without like an account, just like looking at their stuff for a while, and yeah, so basically what's going on with DeviantArt is, first off, they rolled out Eclipse, and Eclipse was an update that changed the overall look of DeviantArt, and I did think that DeviantArt was in need of like an update at the time, but not that. It took away a lot of the spirit of DeviantArt, customization, the things that really made DeviantArt, and it just sterilized it. And what's going on kind of before that and since then has been that there has been bot issues, which is what's going on with Twitter too. These bots in particular, I've posted like a journal or two, I think one journal kind of mentioning it, but there's probably way more journals aside from the one I made that there's like scams that are like, they're always the same exact thing. There's like not even a variancy, it feels like, and they tend to come through the chat feature anyway, so it's like you kind of know, because who uses the fucking chat feature? I feel like I never see people really use that to communicate on there, but also I don't know, people don't really commune on there with me, so it's like at least not like lately, you know, because everyone's kind of either deleted their DeviantArts or is inactive on there. Yeah, there's been bots, that's annoying, it's dealable, but especially is there's been AI issues on DeviantArt. So DeviantArt rolled out AI. If you've been keeping up with it, basically they made everyone opt in automatically. We all were pissed, we're like, opt us out. There was a whole thing on Twitter where there was like a voice call, I don't know what to call it, a voice call, and there was people like RJ, and he's got like a, or they got, I don't know the pronouns off the top of my head, I'm so sorry. RJ has like a Bulbasaur icon. They've done like some of the Pokemon movie art, and they were on in that call trying to like kind of argue on behalf of everybody, and we were all like, people were just in the replies responding, some of us were just listening in, but basically it was just this big circle jerk with these people. I don't know, I can't remember if like what their actual positions in the company are, but they're up there, they're like in charge, and they were all like, AI's the best, AI's so good, how come you guys don't like it, you're not listening to us, and they were like cutting them off, and it cutting everyone off. It was such a mess, and basically, they don't give a shit about any of these artists. It's a terrible, and I hate this stupid AI stuff. There's some nuance to it. I think AI can be fun and good in certain ways, but this is not it. This is definitely not it, and there's such a lack of regulation on AI. It is such a problem. There's such a disrespect to creators by the people who think they could just magically become creators with AI instead of just using it as like a fun little tool. They see it as like a get-rich scheme, and just skip the process of creation on any regard. It's just god-awful. Anyway, yeah, so the people who own DeviantArt circle jerking about AI and how much they love it and how we're just not accepting it and that they're gonna roll it out anyway, and they like kind of pretended to listen, and I think they changed something with the way the opt-in opt-out feature is because we made such a big like stink about it, and we're like, listen to us please, but basically they suck. they still suck. They're still AI. And the icing on the cake, so if the AI thing with DeviantArt didn't already piss people off enough, they also did this shit. Now, I'm gonna before I get into this, I want this to be very clear. We need a ceasefire in Palestine and Gaza. It's just atrocious what's going on there. There is no rhyme or reason for it. A ceasefire is mandatory. So yeah, pro-Palestine. Pro ceasefire, let's do that. Anyway, DeviantArt is not that. DeviantArt does not believe in that, and let me tell you why. From what I understand, look, when I'm getting into all this, I need you to know I'm just rambling. I do not have anything open right now. This is just what I've read as I've been going. I'm like, we're doing the Twitter disclaimer here. Please do not come at me like, how dare you not know every whim of the world in detail. I'm just a person rambling, so that's what this is. Anywho, DeviantArt their parent company is Wix, and Wix is based in Israel, and as such, DeviantArt is pro-Israel, and they did this thing, and it was just, they made like an event, where they posted like an Israel banner, and were like hosting like a draw art for Israel thing, and it was so bizarre. I mean, aside from the fact that that's just, you know, no, it's weird when you consider that there are kind of a lot of kids on DeviantArt too, and they're seeing that and they're drawing like fan art. I don't know, it was just it was so weird to see like just art of that with like no understanding of like kind of what was going on. Oh, from like the people who may or may not have been drawing the art. Some of it was AI art, which was icing on the fucking cake of how much of a shit show that was. Anywho, DeviantArt sucks. And so a lot of people, because if not the AI problem, but because of the whole like Israel propaganda they were doing, they deleted their accounts. Now, it's hard because for me, a lot of, what I decided to do, it's not hard to, like, obviously be like, fuck DeviantArt, that's clear as day. But what I did decide to do, because some part of me wants to hope that DeviantArt will somehow come around, new ownership or something. There's also a lot of history I have on that platform as far as just being my original home base. So what I did do though, is I archived all my art for the time being there, and the only thing that I believe I left unarchived was my improvement meme thing, just so people like know, like, oh, okay, that's like the art that I was posting over the years there, just as like a little, like, one thing to leave there. But I archived everything else, and I have not been using that platform. I sometimes will check if like someone sent me an inbox thing, but otherwise I'm like, yeah, no, this fucking cooked. So that's a shit show, and I posted a few tweets even at DeviantArt complaining about their shit. I don't get core or anything because I don't want to financially support it more than having like a fucking account on their platform at this point. It's really tragic, especially with how much that platform is a home as an artist. I cannot even begin. One thing I do want to mention that was a problem before DeviantArt did Eclipse and all this shit with the AI and being like the propaganda and stuff and weird shit, is that there was a big problem with fetish mining on there, and especially as like a young person on DeviantArt, I didn't even realize at the time until I got a little older how bad it was. And I've made a journal on it, and I think it got posted to Tumblr too. But my journal, like, I'm not the person who came up with that term. Another person did, and they're credited in the journal if you see it, and they're the one who like made like a little infographic and came up about it. But basically, fetish mining is when someone tries to like get fetish or kink content, usually fetish content, out of like someone unknowingly. And DeviantArt runs rampant with that. And on top of it, there's just so much fetish content there, which wouldn't be a problem if it could be like tagged properly. But I guess there's, yeah, I don't know, it's whatever the fuck's going on there. If you remember those journals that usually were posted by like fellow like young girls when you were younger, that were like, what color is this? What color clothes are you wearing? Like, what are you, like this and that, and like what color are your socks or something, like that shit. That was fetish mining. Like probably really what, there's a duality. It could have been genuinely like someone might have made it as a fetish mining thing first, and then some other genuine like kid saw it and was like, I'm gonna make my own version, and like didn't realize that like some of those questions can kind of be a little kind of suspicious when you actually realize what it's asking. But yeah, there was journals like that all the time, and it's just so bizarre. And then there's people who come into your inbox and ask for like art requests, like, draw my character in a bubble, and it's like, it seems like, me and my friends jokingly call these like safe for work fetishes, kind of, or like safe fetishes, because not that they are, it's just they're not obvious like that they are what they are. And so they kind of like do that, like, oh, just draw this like cute character, or draw your OC doing this like really innocent seeming thing. It's so anywho, while I have you here, especially if you're a younger person watching me, or maybe you're just like someone who's a little older but hasn't had those experiences, and you're an artist or of any type, writing, whatever, I just want you to like, and I've posted it in that journal, please read that journal, I will maybe link it here, I don't know, but just like when someone requests anything from you art-wise or something, or if you have a commissioner who's even willing to pay you, use your discretion. If something is making you uncomfortable about it, something seems weird about it, someone's requesting or demanding you to draw it, you can say no. Literally just say no and block them if you must. If you don't even have to, if you see something kind of weird, you could just block people. Use it. It's not worth dealing with that stuff, and it's just stupid, and it's weird. But yeah, DeviantArt, Twitter and DeviantArt are both kind of bunk. I'd like to have hope that maybe they're gonna come around, which is why I'm still there, but usage-wise, it's just garbage. It's really tragic, especially growing up with like the internet, with like the 2000s era of like memes and stuff, and even early like 2000s memes, not like 2000s and 20, I forget that like 2000s are the early, I'm talking about like 2000s and 2010s. That whole era of internet was just like such a bizarre, magical, wacky place, and not just because of nostalgia, no, there's a lot of like spooky stuff too, but like it was just really cool. And it's kind of sucks to see every platform feel like it's becoming the same thing, the same algorithm, broken algorithms, shorts everywhere, overlapping, too many overlapping features. It's interesting. With that said, I do want to mention I fixed my YouTube, but it had like a bit of a bizarre side effect. So if you remember like way back, I think it was like Google Plus rolled out, and it was weird, and the way it like worked with your YouTube account was weird, or like a branded YouTube account or something. I don't know. I don't remember. Don't ask me to explain it in detail. Anywho, there was that sort of thing, and I fixed it because mine was like split up weird or something. And what it did is because I fixed it, it deleted all my old comments. So if you like are like on one of my old videos and it seems like someone responded to something that maybe I had posted, or like and it's like, or it's like a reply to me and you don't see any of my replies, it's because when I fixed it, the like side effect was it deleted everything. So it's really weird now seeing some of my comment sections even on videos that aren't that old. So if you see that, that's what happened. But now my stuff's fixed, so yay, because it was annoying me for forever. It was like so confusing. I was like, why did they do this? They made the process of like, I mean, I'm sure it benefits somebody, not a casual like creator though. It was just confusing. But yeah, basically the internet is kind of like a bit of a shit show, but we can't be like doomerism about it. Like, please don't be like, everything sucks, the internet sucks, everything's failing. No. Like, it sucks, but if you let yourself get way too into it, nothing's gonna get fixed either. You have to kind of be like, okay, it sucks, but maybe this will work out. Maybe we can like fix something. Maybe we can talk to somebody. It might not be immediate. It might take a while, but like, keep your head up. It's interesting to watch how the platforms are going. It really is in like interesting in a bad way, but like also the AI is just, there's a lot going on in the world, but hopefully things get better. We have to try. With that said, aside from my rambling about platforms, well actually let me just remind you, so I'm on Tumblr. I post videos here. If I have videos, they're posted here, but I usually will also post them to the Tumblr now. So like if you're not like active here, you'll usually see a post there still. And I have like the little art Tumblr. I have my own card, and I also still use Toy House. Toy House might not be like as actively up to date, and I'll get that in a second, but it's like there, it's good. I don't really know how to use the other features in Toy House. I just have my characters like hoarded up in there, like a goblin, just like rah, or gremlin, I don't know, dragon horde, shoved in there. And I don't like use the journals or the trade features or whatever it is. It's just kind of like a storage bin when I remember it. And I kind of like made the character bios and then don't really update them after I made them, because there's a lot of bios, unless it's like something really major where I'm like, oh, I should fix this. But yeah, whatever, it's not like a priority list. I just kind of tend to try to upload some stuff there time to time. But I have a card, and the card is like the home base site now. Like I'm posting Tumblr, but like, you know, whatever. The card is like, if you need to like, if you're like, oh god, Blue's like switching platforms around, or platforms are really unstable, bookmark my card, because that's like gonna be the place that if I change websites up or if something happens, it's gonna be noted somewhere on there. Either in the social media links, you'll see like the correct link there changed. In the facts and questions, maybe I'll put something there. But it does have my like kind of little front page with the social media links. They're all the correct links. Don't trust anything if you get it from somewhere else. I had someone impersonate me once for commissions. Like, make sure it is me. Also, my commissions aren't open. They probably will not be for the foreseeable future. So if someone's offering you commissions or something, it's not me. Probably I would have posted about it on like Tumblr or something. Anyway, there's also facts and questions. I'll add to it or update it as need be. I also have like a little temporary gallery there that kind of is serving in place of DeviantArt, and also notes like the DeviantArt and stuff being like archived there. So, and the Toy House is kind of a gallery, but it also has other people's art, so it's not entirely mine stuff either, you know, my stuff. But yeah, aside from all of that, I guess like kind of like what I'm up to, how I'm doing. If you've seen my improvement meme, or you've been kind of generally maybe keeping up, you would know that back in the day I dropped out of community college. and I didn't finish my associates at the time, and part of that was because there was just a lot of stress and everything, and I was juggling way too much shit, and it was not good, and I needed to take care of myself, and I needed time to kind of think about, like, what I wanted to do and stuff. And then COVID happened. Woohoo! That just threw everybody's lives in a... just crazy. I ended up going back, and I got my associate's degree, so huzzah. And then I went on to 4-year college. You know, everybody's like, woo, like, what you should do, what's, like, the correct thing. And while my grades were excellent, I fucking hated it. I just was miserable. And I'll even tell you, I was going into a art type degree, and I did not really enjoy it. I started, like, it was weird, because I was a little ahead in what we were doing, and I understood stuff, and, you know, whether you think or don't think my art reflects that with potentially the classes you might be imagining in your head right now, I only post so much of my stuff. I'm not like posting what I'm doing skill-wise on the side, and some stuff I'm a little out of touch with. Like, I need to study anatomy. I've been wanting to do that for forever because I've stagnated, but anyway, it was a weird spot because I knew some stuff. I was really open to learning new stuff. I was like, yes, like, I'm gonna learn stuff, this is gonna be fun. But then it was just like the institution and foundation classes was just, I started realizing, like, as I was in these art classes, I was like, I love art, I love being among this, and these people and their art and new, like, artists and people learning and new techniques and skills, but I fucking hate this. Like, I don't want to be here, actually. Like, it's not what I thought it was gonna be, and I was already, like, mentally prepared for all the ups and downs. I know it could be really competitive. I know it can be this way or that way, or some assignments can feel like bullshit even when they're teaching you real stuff. Like, I knew some teachers can be hard asses, some could be really mellow, but it just wasn't for me. So I was miserable. I don't know how else to, like, really explain it. I mean, maybe if you've been there, you'll know. But yeah, I had this moment where I was like, you know what? I love art, but I think it needs to be for me. I think drawing stuff needs to be for me. If I happen to, like, start monetizing it down the road, like selling some stuff or doing commissions, that's one thing. But I'm like, I drew, like, I had ideas about it. I love the idea of, like, maybe, like, teaching it and stuff one day, but, like, I was like, this is not, no, I can't do this. Not can't do it, it was just miserable. I was like, I don't want to force myself to do this. So I had considered changing my major and stuff into something that I was more passionate about, that I felt would be good, so that way I keep art to myself. And basically, this is where the second problem with the 4-year school came in. The institution level. I have major respect for a lot of the professors, even the tough ones. There's only been one professor who I just was like, I cannot stand you, because she was not treating people correctly. She has bad rate my professor reviews. But oh god, it was just like one of those things where I got really fed up of the financial amount it cost. I was fed up about the way the class system works, where they're like, well, yeah, but you have to do this and this and this. So even though I could have continued, I said, you know what, I just don't think this is for me. I dropped out, and I'm very happy with it. Instant relief. I felt a lot better. I did finish out that semester, which was nice, but I had enough. And unless there's, like, specific scenarios, I'm done. No. Art's gonna be for me. The traditional 4-year was not it. And I do want to say this, because I thought about it during my previous Ramble video, and I feel like some people might need to hear it. This is my opinion, but I feel like the artistic, like, online content creator artist version of you should go to college that magically will give you, like, a job and a career, and, like, you'll know what to do with your life, is people telling you that because you have OCs or that you draw, that, oh, you should make a comic book, or show or something, or writing, and you should like monetize your stuff and open a storefront. I'm here to tell you, listen to me, open your ears. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to if you don't want to. Not everything in this world is meant to be monetized. Not everything needs to become something so big. You can just have fun. If you're having fun and you truly believe that your future is one where you want to try that, or that you will do that. You're like, yes, I'm gonna make a comic book. I'm gonna strive to make a comic. I'm gonna strive to make a webcomic, a show, a book, a series, or something of your characters. Go for it. But if you're sitting there and you're like, I don't know, and people talk you into it the same way that someone will look at you and be like, you draw that animu, that mango, you draw that, you're an animator, you should go work for Disney. That same thing where people just presume that. You don't have to. You really don't. It's a lot of people do that. It comes from sometimes like a very good intent. I've had that a lot with Dreamscape. People will be like, you know, you have so many characters, they're so cool, you should do this. And there was a point in time, and I've mentioned it, where I genuinely believe that too, despite kind of like there was part of it was like rose-tinted glasses of like the whimsy of creating something like that. And then like when I really got into it and I kind of tried to experiment with it, like experimenting with like a Patreon a little bit, which I was doing when I was stressed about a lot of stuff too, so that like didn't go off well anyway. And I tried a second time and I still was like, something's not right, I don't like this, I'm not enjoying this. I did commissions a lot when I was younger, but I'm not like a commission artist. I was doing it because I wanted money to commission other people. I was doing it to save money for personal stuff. It was like something to distract me at the time, and it worked out, but like I'm not a commission artist either. And you have to like listen to yourself. You can try it, but make sure you listen to yourself. If you love it, enjoy it, go do it. Take care of yourself. Don't burn yourself out doing it. But if you do it and you're like, man, I'm not enjoying this as much, it's okay, it's fine. But yeah, that happened. There was a point where I genuinely believed I needed to take like Dreamscape with my OCs to like a next level, and I got in my head, I thought I was gonna be a quote-unquote content creator, which I've been trying to untrain myself, because that's been a thing, and I've seen people talk about where you like start calling your art content, you start and you'll still see me do it, you'll still see me say content sometimes. You don't have to be like, Blue, stop saying that, like anytime you notice it. Call it what it is. It's your art, it's your videos, it's your music, it's your creation. When we start talking about content, we start thinking about monetization and capitalism and money and like work. Have fun creating. There's a lot of work economy stuff going on. It won't kill you to just have fun. Enjoy your characters. I've been trying to go back to that. So kind of like when I was like, oh, let me say kind of what I've been up to lately, how I'm doing. I've been doing a lot better since the whole education section of my kind of like, primarily of my life has kind of been like, I've come to peace with that. There was like, I wouldn't describe it as finding my like internal child. Is that what they call it again? A bit. I feel like kind of in adolescence I got a little shaken up a bit, and I've kind of come back to it now, and you know, you're still finding it. I think you're always finding that again. You're finding yourself throughout your whole life, but I've definitely gotten like more in touch with it. It feels like merging two halves together, like anywho. I've been having fun again. I draw, not as much sometimes, it depends. I've been busy with a lot of stuff, but when I do, I've been kind of just dabbling around again. I'm like, whatever. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, well, I should make this a certain way because I'm gonna post it, and I have to, like, just shake my own brain and be like, shut up, you just draw. Just draw. It doesn't matter. It's gonna get posted. Someone looks at it for, like, 2 seconds, and, like, it's whatever. Likes are bullshit. Algorithms are bullshit. Who gives a fuck? Just draw and post. And I've been kind of coming back to that a bit. I've been drawing, like, updated and old versions of, like, OG Dreamscape. I've just been kind of chilling. I'm not, like, sometimes I'll draw something and I'll just be like, oh, this whatever, I don't have to post it. And it's been really nice. I've also kind of been dabbling with fan art again. I'll out myself right here. If you've been with me for a long time, following like my art posts, or you've kind of like glimpsed at them over time, you probably know that back in the day, I was primarily drawing warrior cats as like my first fandom. And I also drew Hetalia, more specifically Hetaoni and Nekotalia, which was the was it like Aoni parody and the cat version of Hetalia. Except I was drawing like cat Nekooni because I wasn't really like, it was before I was like really comfortable posting and drawing people. So I was drawing the little cats. Yeah, God help me, Hetalia. But that's just the reality. I'll admit, I don't think I did like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I wasn't really drawing and posting it. It was mostly, I did do Little Miraculous Ladybug. I want to say the primary fandoms I was posting content for were absolutely warrior cats. which was an up and a down. I got my stuff traced and basically traced, but like very heavily referenced, and people are reposting some stuff and whatever, but like for all like the weirdness of that fandom sometimes and like the crazy stuff, it was like, you know, it's fun. It was like my nostalgic childhood fandom. I still love seeing the new content that comes out time to time from the fandom. People are so creative these days, and keeping up with the book arcs is like, wow, random stuff going on, unhinged, cat books. Wow, and there's a new graphic novel coming out. If you haven't heard about this, there's a new Warrior Cats graphic novel coming out. I think it's going to be a series, and it's drawn by an artist who actually draws like a little like comic book, like, I don't know, comic book, manga, whatever you want to call it, like style that's like more emoted than some of the other ones. Like the Scourge or Scourge, I call them Scourge, I know it's Scourge, mangas graphic novels were really cool, because the way it looked. So this is more like that. It's got more like stylistic flair to it. Really excited for those. Aside from Hitalia helped me through social studies class, so before anyone's like, oh my god, Blue, you watched like Hitalia, I passed social studies, so you can shut up. It did something. It was a wild way to learn, but it sure fucking helped, because I would just imagine the countries as these weird little like chibi anime characters, and I was like, yes. They would, yeah, I can envision whatever the hell's going on in a shitpost way, and that worked. Me and my friends were obsessed. We showed it to the teacher. He thought it was cool, so, you know, take what you will of that. But then, Miraculous Ladybug was a time, because that fandom, I don't know what is going on with that fandom. Even Warrior Cats has nothing on this. It killed my drive to post fandom content for a while, along with just everything you could think about, like maybe like drawing fan art. I was more interested in my OCs, so I want to draw OC art anyway. But the Miraculous Ladybug fandom would steal my like little shitpost videos, and it's so much. I don't know why. Like, I've never had like my stuff re-uploaded and stolen that much. And that just like really made me hate drawing. I was like, oh god, because it was like every other day I find like a repost, and I was like, please, like, why this stupid thing? Like, I guess, like, and then people would be like so weird. They'd be like, how dare you deny this content from the people? And I was like, it's my content, it's uploaded. What do you mean you're stealing it from me? I don't understand. It was insane. Anyway, I kind of stopped drawing fandom stuff after that. I had enough. I was drawing my OCs anyway. But I've started getting back into that, and I've drawn a little bit of the Owl House fandom stuff, and on Tumblr, it's really funny because, like, I'm gonna say, like, they've kind of, like, adopted me in. On Tumblr, like, to the best of my guess, I'm still new to Tumblr. I used to use Tumblr back in the day during the Steven Universe fandom, like, time period, which was kind of crazy, but also calm enough, depending where you were when that was, like, that stuff was going on there. But I would just, like, mostly I was reblocking all the Tumblr memes, like the Hold My Flower one. I remember that. I was there. And I remember, like, the Super Pulak Supernatural, like, I didn't personally follow that, but I remember seeing it mentioned all the time. Anywho, yeah, I posted my Owl House art on there, and I guess the Owl House fandom kind of, like, found me, because I see you guys and your little icons. You all have, like, Owl House icons, and they followed me, and those are, like, my most popular posts, which is cool, because it's nice that it's just being, like, casually enjoyed by a fandom. So, you know, I might try to draw some fan art every once in a while, like, not for, like, gains or anything, just it's nice to, like, contribute to fandoms I've enjoyed in, like, a little bit of a capacity, because I consume so much of fandoms. I love seeing the fan art people post, and it has been nice kind of getting back in touch with that kind of, like, silly, like, more middle school, high school me, where I would draw, like, my own OCs, and their weird cringe little plots and silly stuff, and just be, like, as they were before I made it, like, a huge thing, and I would just have fun with it. And it's fun to, like, dabble in, like, little silly fandom stuff again, and just put it out there in, like, a normal way, and have people just be like, oh, cool, thanks, more food, like, 2 cakes, whatever that meme is, where it's like, whoa, I have 1 cake, now I have 2 cakes, you know, because sometimes you look at fan art too, if you consume, like, there's this weird balance of consuming other creative content where it fuels you, but if you're not careful, sometimes it'll put you down too. Which sounds bizarre, but maybe you'll get it if I explain it. So you see like art, you see a story, you get pumped, you're inspired. You're like, maybe I'll make an OC with this kind of like vibe or something, and this story take some influence from here, or maybe it just gave me a whole new idea. And then sometimes you'll like go on video binge or art binge, and you'll see so much art, and then you, one hand you're inspired, on the other hand you're like, man, I don't think I can make something like that without like, and then part of that might also be like the whole monetization part of your brain too. You're like, I don't know how long it would take me to do that, so anything I do right now might not be that great, and then you kind of like talk yourself out of it in like the spiral of man, my stuff's not as good or whatever, and you don't post it at all, and then you just kind of feel bad. It's really tricky. It's just honest. Like, I'm not saying like I suffer from that all the time, but it's there. I think I'd be lying to myself if that doesn't happen sometimes. And I'm happy with my art the way it is, but sometimes like when you want to like post something cool, you like kind of are like, man, what if I can make something that cool? And you can one day if you practice or if you experiment and you take your time and you're okay with taking your time. But it's also okay to be like, I don't want to. I don't really want to. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I could learn how to draw this and that, but also I'm like, well, unless I really want to, I don't have to. Like, am I making something with this to that level? No. I'm just vibing. So, fuck yeah. Anyway, this has been a hell of a ramble. You can kind of see how my other video probably got all over the place. I was talking about all the stuff I was talking about now with like kind of just random thought process, free flow, and not bullet points, and then on top of it I was talking about the drawing as I was drawing it, so like eventually I tapered off in my original recording to talking about kind of like my art process, but like while I was trying to figure out the art maybe I'll make like a blooper thing. There isn't that many bloopers, but there was a point where Hunter's hairline like was giving me a problem. It's still kind of too tall, but like stupid things like that where I was like, oh my god, Willow, I drew you human ears, oh no, and I was like trying to fix it. But yeah, that's kind of like the gist of it, and this kind of worked out because this is kind of like around the same time length a little bit. It's a little shorter, but it's around that time length. But yeah, aside from my rambling, just to kind of go over it, this was a redone recording of a different video I recorded to just be kind of like an update video and still get like what I wanted to across about my previous video, but a little more polished-ish, but still rambly for the Ramble enjoyers. Here you go. I don't know if you've been drawing or having a cup of tea this whole time. I'm a tea enjoyer. I love tea. The drink, not the drama, the drink. But also, yeah, platforms. I'm on Tumblr. That's kind of home now. I also have a card. That is like the bookmark home. That will be like the hub because platform's unreliable. God help me if card goes down the gutter. I'll just give up. I'll be like, bruh. Oh, something I wanted to mention in my other video. A lot of people are like, Blue, you should go to BlueSky because it's like the better Twitter. I don't want another Twitter. I don't want more social media and complex social media. Like, if there was a really good platform that was just, it just worked, it was so nice, yeah, like, yeah, maybe I'd sign up for it and use it, but, like, I don't want the new internet's, like, crazy stuff, or like, algorithms and things. I don't want to have to relearn all this new stuff. I love learning, but, like, not new platform. Like, I'm kind of where I am. As long as I have one, it's whatever. I don't have TikTok. I usually get TikToks through like a filter, which is funny. So I'll get like them on like if I go on Twitter, sometimes I'll see them, but more so like the YouTube Shorts and stuff. Which on one hand, I almost wish there wasn't YouTube Shorts or even Instagram Reels, but like they're there, and at least I can kind of see some stuff, and I'm not totally out of loop. But it's one of those things where, yeah, I'm not gonna make a BlueSky. It sounds cool, but I don't want another Twitter. Like, if Twitter is gone, that's probably, like, it's like, whatever. It's like, this works out for me, I guess. Like, I hope it doesn't. The hard part with platforms, this is another tangent while I have you here. The hard part with artistic platforms, you're gonna notice, especially if you're an artist, and this is just me kind of, like, summarizing my own thoughts, what I understand of it. There's better explanations out there if you really want them, is that you can have an art-centric platform, but you need non-art people to also engage with you when you want to like get out there and sell things. And so like places like DeviantArt or ArtStation are really cool, and I'm sure there's like recruiters on there, probably more ArtStation to be honest. DeviantArt's more casual, but there's like art studio recruiters on there, but you need that other audience, and that was why Twitter was such a good place for people before it went down the gutter, because you had this mass blend of, like, in this specific scenario, like artists and creators, and then people who would consume it and support them who weren't artists themselves. You would also have fellow artists engaging with you, so you got this like triangle of you as an artist, other creators, and kind of your following of people who weren't creators, who would enjoy your work and support you and came from other avenues, and maybe that provided you with multi opportunities for connections, like job opportunities, money opportunities, event opportunity, etc, storefront, like who are you selling to? So the problem is when every time a new platform comes up and is like, we're gonna be a new art platform, there's a few problems. If you've used, I can't remember its name. Oh, Inkblot, I think. Inkblot, and also, this isn't an art platform, this is more of like an art game platform, but Artfight. You'll know that sometimes they have trouble with their, I don't know how to call it, but I'm gonna say their server, their website, function, where that, because it gets overloaded by the amount of people or posts, or it needs more space for storage, which is a financial cost, it can't run unless it has enough financial support and etc. And if it doesn't have the ability to host as many people are trying to enter it, or doesn't have enough money to get the things it needs, it might like glitch out or break or like error down, which it happens with Artfight at the beginning of like every freaking Artfight year. I think they try their best, but also, oh my god, it breaks a lot. Or it was like slow. That's like one problem, which is like any new place. Basically, it needs proper servers and funding to thrive. Like anything else, it needs resources to thrive. It also needs enough people to use it, to talk about it, to get more people in, so keep growing in a way, and be functional and be welcoming. But then also you need that diverse range of people, so it's not just artists with artists. You need people who are not artists, who might be other types of artists, and so on and so forth. So every time a new art platform pops up, also some people are really picky with what they want out of a platform. Is it accessible? Does it have a website version? Does it have a mobile version? There's a lot of fucking reasons. But basically, because I'm rambling, every time an art platform that's new pops up, it's really hard to get it going. And I hope one of them does, especially for upcoming artists, current artists, because a lot of people rely on that for a living. I hope some platform does work out in the end, but it might be rough for a while. I don't really have any better wisdom on that, aside from just generally explaining why you might see things like websites pop up and then go under the radar. There was a few, I don't know how Artful is doing, ARTFOL. It kind of came and went. Like, there's a lot of platforms where I've seen people talk about them, they all sign up, and then it like vanishes. And the hard part is the economy is so messed up, so even if people want to financially support some of these things, they kind of can't. Or are not in the position to, even if they wanted to, or can't do it in such a grand way. Like, they can only contribute a little bit, which is still good, but not enough. It's really tough, and that's why a lot of the platforms, aside from a lot of weird stuff, hold such a chokehold on everybody. Like Twitter, it's so many people's like only way. It's, yeah. So going back to my original point of a few minutes ago, platforms, Tumblr, Card. I use Toy House, technically YouTube. All my other platforms are linked on my Card. If anything happens, it'll be adjusted there. If anything like specific happens, there'll be a facts and questions or a Tumblr post about it, or even a DeviantArt journal. I said I'm not posting my art on there, but I won't necessarily forget that it might be a good way to post an update if something, like, you know, if I'm like, hey, like, here's a thing, or here's a PSA about like the DeviantArt right now, like the whole weird stuff going on there. It's still a decent way to reach some people who might still use it. But then also, what is it? Yeah, I'm mostly just casually drawing and posting my OCs, because I've kind of gotten out of the I have to be a creator mindset, and I'm just vibing again. There might be times, just because the way I want to take my life and do whatever, that I might not post a lot. But you can still like reach out on Tumblr if you have a question or whatever, but like I'm just kind of chilling. Like, I'm not trying to like make anything crazy. I'm not trying to like make a whole bunch of like crazy art connections with like stuff. I'm just vibing. I'm just like another little guy on the internet being like, here, look at my little funky OCs. Whoop. That's where I am. Who knows? Maybe something will change, but I'm not really looking for that change, at least. I'm kind of really happy to just be chilling again and making silly stuff on my characters and not like overthinking it. And I'm still learning how to like not overthink it. It's a lot better than it used to be. And it's been kind of fun, as said. So you'll see me post my characters on Tumblr. I do sometimes post fandom stuff there, like the Owl House doodles if I make any, or maybe something else. Like, I kind of want to draw Gummy Goo from the Amazing Digital Circus. I like just watch. I love Gummy Goo. Favorite character, little guy, little gummy guy. I just love him. But I might like doodle silly stuff like that. You know, bands or something I like. I don't know. But don't expect me to be a fandom artist. I post stuff, but don't be like, oh, she drew like Owl House. Maybe she'll draw like a ton more Owl House. Probably not, unless I get really into it for some reason. But I'm a OC like content creator. You're gonna see my weird little dudes. But yeah, basically, keep your heads up. World's weird, but we gotta try for something. Internet platforms are a fucking mess, but hopefully maybe something will improve, or if nothing else, if they won't improve, maybe you can change your interaction with the internet to be healthier and more mindful, such as like even the silly stuff like, man, like maybe just your way you're posting or how you're thinking about how you're going to post in the future, or just blocking the weird people who make weird art requests. Whatever you gotta do, my guy, you do you. It's a time vibe. But yeah, so if you got like whatever you want to keep up, follow Tumblr, follow my card. If you have, I mean, you can comment on this video if you really got a question or something here, I will answer it. Or you can ask on my Tumblr. I will say, the Tumblr, I do not have like anon questions on. I'm sorry, I just don't like to deal with people with the anon thing. It's just there's always weird nonsense going on with that. So you do have to have like a Tumblr to ask a question on there, but it's you know, it's a vibe. Yeah, I'm like low-key really tired right now. I have tea, so I keep saying it's a vibe. Yeah. And then two funny things. There's a new comic coming out from Fall Out Boy called Dying Inside, but well, not from Fall Out Boy, by Pete, like Pete Wentz is involved in it. You could check that out. I just got a copy. It's pretty cool. And also, I found out that Mayday Parade made Lo-Fi covers of their songs a bit ago, and I've been looping them among some other stuff. I've really been getting back into the music I really like I still like check out new music, but I was like, just I have been playing 2010s music and like all old songs that like I've been like Mayday Parade. I don't know what happened. I like kind of forgot Mayday Parade a little bit. Like I forgot about it for a bit, even though I had some of the songs in my playlist, and then it was like I re-pulled them out of the void again, and I've been like looping those tracks because there's a lot of like songs or albums that I like will explicitly associate to certain OCs to a degree, but like I don't know. And then I found out they have lo-fi music, and it was like in the other video that I recorded, I like totally like skipped a beat in thought and started talking about the lo-fi music in there. What else did I talk about in that other video while we're ending this? Just to ramble a little longer. I talked about Cartoon Saloon. Hey, you should watch the Cartoon Saloon movies. They're beautiful. Watch Song of the Sea. Watch Wolfwalkers. Oh my god. I did this in my other video too. I forgot the last one. The Secret of Kells. I'm so sorry. The Secret of Kells. Okay. I love all of those. I'm not gonna lie. The Secret of Kells is the one that interests me the least, even though it's gorgeous. It's just the fucking wolves and the sea creature one with the Irish Selkie lore. It's just, I love them. So it's more that I just love them so much that my brain forgets Kells, and not that I don't like Kells. You should watch those. They're really pretty. If you love animation, go watch them. Yeah, I think that's about everything. Those weren't in my notes, by the way. That was me just violently remembering what I talked about before, just for the hell of it. I think I've covered everything. I drew Hunter and Willow. I was talking about how much I like them. I like all of the Owl House. What a great show. I can't believe it's over. But yeah. Anywho, that's my ramble. I'll link the things. I hope somebody enjoyed this. I don't necessarily think I'll do this again. I did do this for fun. Sometimes I like to do something once just to try it, and then it's like, haha, whatever. And, you know, I like to post a video periodically on my YouTube, so it's not, like, forever dead. At the same point, I don't know how active I'm gonna be going forward in the future. Like, I'll be around, but I might be, like, no posts for a while, but, like, you know, we're good. Just vibing, just busy, just doing stuff. Same goes for YouTube. There might not be another video for a whole year. That happens. Sometimes I post, like, a video a year. Or there might be a video in like a few months. You never know. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully somebody enjoyed this. I know some people are like, hell yeah, Ramble video. There you go. Here's one. I'm sure there's people who do podcasts and like, you know, videos where they ramble all the time, and I'm just like, one and done, baby. I'm out. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna stop this before I start talking about God knows what and just ramble further into the void like I've been doing for the last 25 minutes. Yeah, see you around. Have fun. I think I did an exit statement just like a bit ago, and then I started rambling again. But this is for real now. We're real. Mod your 3DS. That's what I forgot from my other video. Mod your 3DS. Do it. Mod your shit. Do it. It's so fun. Even if you don't think you're gonna like play it for like a few years, you should just mod it. It doesn't cost all that much. You mod it, you can have all the games you want. And they're not available on the eShop anyway, so you might as well, because Nintendo wasn't gonna make a profit anyway at this point. And it's pretty, yeah. It's pretty easy. I did it. It's fun. Got the games. Yeah. Anywho. Have a good one. Bye-bye.